Do 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 do. Bobby and the Rockers. Do 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 do. Ch ch cha. Oh yeah, I got a new image. Gonna call it image. Do, do, do. This was my first freehand. Oh yeah. Just gonna start slowly filling the screen. Eh? Freehand. See what I'm doing here? I'm transitioning from tracing. Blue hair. I don't know. Just having fun, man. All
Come
right.
on.
Okay, that's too loud for me. Every girl has lost a good guy because she took advice from her hoe-ass friends.
Blood out. They must have forgot I was a crip.
Why is this still so loud?
Scoop. Reasons why you should never.
Yeah, the first part. Yeah, why not? But I mean, like, hoe-ass friends or whatever it was is not a category. It's not like bad advice people are some sort of unique category only available to women, you know? There's plenty of idiots out there giving bad advice to everybody. There's plenty of guys that got bad advice from girls. There's plenty of girls that got bad advice from guys. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's like exclusively this thing where, oh yeah, it's only women that are what? What's the cliche? It's like it was a really good guy, and it wasn't fair that he that she broke up with him. I mean, come on. If you are a really good guy and you're with a girl who for whatever reason you don't realize is the kind of person that has really dumb friends and listens to their advice, because by the way, having dumb friends could be really informative. You know, if you know that they have terrible advice, because then whenever you need help with something, whenever you need a fresh set of eyes, you ask your friends for advice, and then when they give you advice, you go, "Oh yeah, thanks," and then you just do the opposite. It's great. You can make a lot of money investing in cryptocurrencies when everyone is telling you to buy something. If you know they're the kind of people who are constantly losing money on investments, keep them around. They're great for advice. But yeah, that first part, I don't think so. Reasons why you shouldn't trip over your ex. Moving on. Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Trip about your ex being with somebody else. It's always better to give worn out items to the less fortunate. It recycles the value. One person's trash is another person's gold, but remember, everything that glitters ain't gold. Some people are just happy to get something, even if it's garbage.
Why don't you?
Yeah, you know what? That's like I don't get the self sabotage that comes with adopting that kind of attitude. Like if it's kind of like the first part, sort of. You're with someone. You're with this person. You're choosing to be with them, right? I'm guessing some there are some qualities about them that losing those qualities could make you feel, what did it say? Get over feeling hung up about the person moving on, being with something else. So it's like, so if they do have qualities that you can at least acknowledge you appreciate about them, okay, well then you choosing to be with them, unless they were like, you know, forcing themselves on you. If you chose to be with that person, that's a byproduct of you identifying something of value in them and choosing them. And then if after the fact, if after you lose them, if the only way you find that you can move on, if the only narrative that makes you feel better is, declaring that they're garbage. Well, then you're kind of saying that for however long it's been that you were with them, you're the kind of person who dates garbage. Like, or, or is it really the case that it's just while they're with you, they're not garbage, and then as soon as they're not with you, they're garbage? Like, that's also, I don't know, that just doesn't sound believable. But yeah, but that kind of sabotaging the past. It's like if you're with someone, and you can at any point believe that they're actually garbage, then probably you're going to have that outlook about them. Like if this is genuine, you're going to have that outlook about them. And then don't get me wrong, I totally acknowledge that there are people out there who they meet someone and they kind of go, whatever, this person's kind of a fucking skid, but they're good to have sex with, or it's whatever, I'm lonely, it's better than nothing. And those kinds of relationships, whatever, I feel like they're a waste of time. But if you go through that kind of a relationship and then you break up, then you honestly just don't care because that person was kind of just like whatever. They were this disposable human being to you. So then you don't need to do any work to get over it. But if you need to do some sort of work to get over it, then you're effectively acknowledging that they did mean something, and then trying to redefine them as being garbage is just, yeah. Like I like to imagine breakups like I like to analogize breakups like going to a wake. I've told people break up, wake up, not to be confused with uh, being woke or anything, but just like kind of like how people say man up and they're referring to a man. Well, I'm referring to a wake, which is like what you do when, you go to a wake when someone passes away and you get together with all of the mutual friends that you had, and you sit around and you share good stories and reminisce and talk about all the cool things that you got to do with that person and the good times that you had. It's like you can't hang out with that person anymore. You can't be with that person anymore. That relationship is done. Imagine if the way that people approach breakups, like these kinds of individuals, imagine if approaching breakups like this was, you know, the same way that people approached trying to move past people passing away. It's like your father passes away or something, and you like had a great relationship, you loved him, and he passes away, and then you're like, yeah, motherfucker was an idiot. Fuck him. He was the stupidest fucking guy I knew. He was a piece of trash. Because it's like that's the story you need to tell to be able to get over it. It's just, I don't know. I feel like if you had a good time, if you had something worth enjoying while you were together, then it's just like, you could remember those good times. The fact that they're no longer with you doesn't invalidate the fact that you had those times, right? I mean, and I guess it just really depends on like where you direct your attention, right? Like it doesn't. I don't think it matters. I really don't think it matters like how much money you have or how many beautiful women you're with. Whatever someone might think is the solution, the ideal scenario for any of these individuals. I guarantee there's plenty of people who could be in that situation and not enjoy it or actively be miserable because they would be focusing their attention on whatever, something that they didn't have. You could have you could have all the sexy bimbos but be pissed off that no one wants to marry you and have kids with you. You could be married with kids and a beautiful family. You could be pissed off that you don't have sexy bimbo sluts fawning over you. It's just like there's always the possibility of not appreciating what you have or what you had. Or it's like, or I don't know, if you used to, I don't know, maybe you were like an amazing athlete and then you had some sort of an accident and now you can't do anything athletic or sporty. It's like, are you gonna like ruin all of the accomplishments and experiences that you had by trying to redefine the past as like, oh yeah, being an athlete was the stupidest fucking thing because now I can't do it. So what was the point? It's like the point was it was something that was fucking awesome, and you did a great job at it.
Tell her, go home to your husband.
Because she don't want to. That's why she's here.
Talk.
So
Come
look,
on.
let me
Don't
tell you
judge,
something.
bro. Just let
me
the
tell you
man.
something. Let me tell you something about a person, right? And the human psychology. You're going to chase after your desires if they're strong enough. So if she's already here, her desire for me is strong enough to leave that man. I'm not gonna tell her to go back home. She don't want to go back home. If she wanted to go back home, she would have stood her ass home. You feel what I'm saying?
But you're for the moment.
It don't matter. It don't matter if I'm from the moment or listen. Listen. It don't matter what listen. First of all, let me tell you something.
She cheated.
Let me tell you something about women. I could be for the moment, right? Hypothetically, but most women, that person that was for the moment, if that moment is good, guess what they do? They keep it going. They get more moments. It's a lot of moments, my nigga.
Okay, I mean, I think the guy is like accurate in some sense, describing like there are certainly a lot of people that are impulse driven. There's a lot of people that aren't impulse driven, but yeah, again, just that part where he's like, "Let me tell you about women." It's like there's plenty of fucking men that like what is it? Is it really just this idea that women are the ones that like cheat? And specifically in this case, impulsively, because plenty of people don't also just follow some impulse. They like think about shit for a long time and like organize stuff, you know. But I really think that it's just like equal opportunity here. I think men and women can equally be people that are that are pulled impulsively into situations where they're cheating. I don't think this is so exclusive to women.
That moment, momentum. It becomes momentum. Exactly.
Oh, you got your heart broken, now you're fucking random dudes to cope? Did it help? Do you feel better?
It's music.
Didn't think so.
You know what? I gotta disagree, and just from my own personal experience, um, especially coming out of like more long-term relationships, there's a lot of aspects. Again, now I'm just talking from my personal experience, but I feel like there are a lot of aspects to a relationship. Like there's a lot of like in the last clip, the guy mentioned something about like momentum. They were laughing at it, but there's a lot of institutions and rituals that people form when they're together for extended periods of time, and each of those builds up momentum. And sometimes sometimes when you start a relationship, maybe you go out a lot, you go out to a lot of restaurants, and that has a certain momentum that keeps itself going. Maybe that dies down to a minimum after a while, then you start spending more and more time at home. Then, so I'm not saying that things are like that. These types of trends are persistent all throughout a relationship, but I'm just saying that there's a bunch of different trends all sort of happening at once in terms of how you behave with someone in relationship to someone, and going through a breakup is generally it's an interruption to multiple streams, multiple momentums. I don't know what to call it. You know what I'm talking about. In a way, it's if you've really established a life or gotten close with someone, breaking up with that one person can kind of be like breaking up with like 3 or 4 people. Because maybe on one level, this person was just like the friend that you like talked to and chatted with every day, just about stupid shit. Maybe they were the kind of person where if it wasn't for them, when some random dumb, silly idea crossed your head, you wouldn't have anyone to really tell that to. But with them, they were the person that you would sort of, offload those silly little ideas, and you guys would like laugh about it or something. And then maybe they were also the person that you were having sex with. And then maybe also they were the person that you had some sort of active fantasy life with about what you're going to do with your life, how the two of you are going to build something. So that's like three different ways right there, just as whatever examples off the top of my head, that you could have been relating to a single individual. You break up, all of a sudden, well, all three of those things are gone. So is replacing one of those things going to help you just completely get over that person? Let's say calling up one of your old friends and reestablishing a friendship with an old buddy that you can have this kind of joking, quippy, just talk about the stupid shit you used to chat with your girlfriend about. Is replacing that part going to help you completely get over that girl? No, you know. But will it help? Like, yeah, I think so. And I certainly believe that having having a consistent individual intimate partner, because I've also been in plenty of situations where over the course of my life where I was with just different people sort of at the same time. but yeah, but just being with one person and essentially one person having the monopoly of responsibility for your sexual fulfillment, that being interrupted, like certainly fuck with your life. So if you can go out and get laid and sort of put a cap on, that aspect of your life, again, is it gonna solve everything? Definitely not. But like with this guy, like will it help? Did it help? I imagine that I imagine it always helps, to some degree. Now it might make you it might satisfy the sexual urges. It might make some of the romantic aspects or whatever, it might make other aspects worse. You know, it could help. It could make those other parts worse. But yeah, just getting some physical satisfaction, I don't think is something that should be, I don't know, just frowned upon. It's like if you have if you still have a libido while you're going through a breakup, if you're not too depressed, whatever. And then also, I think talking about this the other day. There's another sort of thing that I think is also quite reasonable after a breakup that I think is often sort of misunderstood. A lot of times, I don't know, this is more of a girl cliche, but a lot of times girls will like go get a haircut, they'll get a new hair dye. Maybe they'll get like manicure, pedicure, some sort of makeover. They'll get, they'll change their look, right? And I think often this is interpreted as like, oh, symbolically they're moving on, they're becoming a new person. And I'm not discounting that interpretation, but I think something that is often ignored or just not noticed with that is going and getting your hair done and your nails and whatever. You're going out and you're interacting with people that are like touching you and grooming you and touching your hair in a way that feels nice and touching your hands in a way that feels nice. And I think a lot of people that go through breakups, and then this, I think, much more likely to be women than men, maybe instead of going out and like getting themselves laid to sort of get that physical touch, intimacy kind of fulfillment that they're missing out on, instead they accomplish something pretty similar by like more socially acceptable needs. I mean, presumably to them, right? But yeah, and this is something that I often find like guys just either never do or haven't even considered doing. And I think that if there's a, I don't know, if there's a place where you can get like physiotherapy or something like I understand for a lot of people it's like getting a massage is too, it's like, why are you getting a massage? The presumption is like, is it like one of quote unquote those massages? It's not. Okay, what do you do? Like, it's weird. But like physiotherapy, you wanna dress it up with like, oh yeah, my rotator cuff's been bothering me. I'm going to see what are they, like RMT or whatever, and like yeah, go get a massage, get some deep tissue. Oh, what's that tissue part? Fascia. Go get a deep fascia fucking uh massage therapy. That physical contact, like you get oxytocin, or like your brain produces oxytocin as a response to it, dopamine. Um, it's not quite the same as going out and getting laid to sort of interrupt that withdrawal pattern, but I certainly think it contributes quite significantly.
We don't need to dress more modestly.
We don't need to dress more modestly. You need to learn how to fucking control yourself.
To learn how to fucking control yourselves. This assumes that boys.
I guess that's in response to some sort of an argument that men aren't responsible for their actions, and I'm guessing the interpretation there would have been like some sort of predatory actions, that men aren't responsible because of the way that women dress. And I think a really important factor here is what exactly is the behavior on behalf of the men that is being identified as predatory. Because like I don't know, I feel like this is it's a pretty old school position at this point to a lot of people, but I do believe that like physical contact, whether it's like touching or hitting or grabbing or whatever, but like physical anything exists within like a sphere, and then anything that is not physical exists in some other category. So like looking, some people redefine looking at someone as like eye fucking or like male gaze raping or some shit. It's like, I don't subscribe to that outlook. It's like looking. Or for some people, it's like uh, trying to chat someone up, talking to someone, going up to someone and being like, hey, how's it going? Like that kind of shit. A lot of people they just don't want that contact. And again, I think it's like men and women. I don't know, having owned a bar and worked in bars for a long time, there's been countless times where I was, you know, approached by a group of girls that are all like, you know, well, I won't say they're pretty fucking ugly, but just a group of girls that I just found not to be attractive one bit. And they're wasted, which just, I don't know, makes them less attractive in my opinion. But yeah, wasted girls coming over being like, hey, our friend likes you, and haha, just kind of goofy fucking high school kind of shit. And it's like 20 something year olds, but like, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that shit. I imagine if you're a girl and some guy that you don't find attractive or you find actively repulsive comes up to you and is trying to hit on you, that you also are like, ugh, gross, Um, now, big, big if, how are you going to handle it? How do you handle the rejection? And then how does the person getting rejected handle that rejection? Because one of the things that I learned from, again, countless interactions like this is that being being honest and straightforward with people just generally doesn't turn out the way you would like it to. And whether you expect it to or not is up to your own, you know, failure of a good theory that predicts, the outcomes of decisions like that. But both the approach of being like, hey, listen, I'd appreciate if you just did fucking come up to people and like don't come up to me and hit on me, like I don't want that. Or the other honest part, which is like, I mean, and this is just hypothetically being like brutalized. Like, oh, sorry, I'm not interested. I don't find you attractive or something. Those things do not go over well. Even in a lot of cases, making up excuses, and this is, I think, more of a thing with like drug people than just people in general. But literally, a lot of people you could tell them like, I have a girlfriend, I'm gay, I'm asexual. Just like you could tell them anything. And there are certain types of people, again, I think if they're drunk, that just interpret it as excuses that are there to be argued against and won. And so having experienced that, that is really fucking boring and just stupid. And then at that point, the excuses or the arguments coming from them is kind of like what I imagine maybe that clip of the girl originally was somehow referring to, where it's like I'm just imagining a scenario where like a guy goes over to a girl and goes, "Hey baby, you're looking really good. What's your name?" And the girl is like, "Don't even fucking talk to me. Get the fuck away from me, you fucking pathetic loser." And then instead of being like, "Oh fuck, okay," then the debate starts, and then the argument sooner or later from that guy is like, yo, well, you're dressed like a slut or you're dressed like whatever. So that's why I'm approaching you like this, right? Because you look like you want to be approached. And then what the girl said is like a response to that. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like her comment just points out how these hypothetical people on her side of the argument are just as wrong as the hypothetical people on the opposite side of the argument. But it does remind me of a very amusing Dave Chappelle stand-up routine where he like some girl gets angry at him for talking to her like a prostitute because he thinks she's dressed like a prostitute, and then she's like, just because I dress like a prostitute doesn't mean I am a prostitute. And then he like imagines this scenario where he just, you know, where she's in a situation where she needs the help of the police, and he happens to be standing around dressed like a cop, and she's like, officer, officer, help, someone stole my purse. And he's like, don't fucking bother me, bitch. What makes you think I'm a cop? Just because I'm dressed like a cop doesn't mean I am a cop. Kind of pointing out the, you know, hypocrisy of whatever, completely ignoring uniform. And obviously, a policeman's uniform is like, you can get charged and sent to prison for wearing a police uniform if you're not police, because it's recognized that that particular uniform, let's say, it carries a lot of authority. Even like a firefighter and stuff, like if you have like a fireman's shirt, like their, I don't know, civilian dress clothes or whatever they're called. So yeah, obviously wearing revealing clothes isn't, it's like you're being charged with dressing like a prostitute and then not being a prostitute. Obviously, that's not the case. But yeah, I think it does touch on something that I think is real that we can relate to, where it's like we identify people largely by how they present themselves to the public, and acting in this fashion, like uh, acting like you're completely oblivious or ignorant of how a significant percentage of the population interprets the way you look is like, that's on you. Like if you don't think your look, if you're not aware of how your look is interpreted, that's kind of like, you know, in the judicial system, it's like ignorance of the law is not an excuse from like breaking it. You know, it's not a defense against breaking it. It's like it's your responsibility to know what the law of the land is so you can adhere to it. So it's also, I think it's like, it's your responsibility to know how shit you wear is going to be interpreted, not just by your friends, but by all the different kinds of people that you could run into. No, I should rephrase that. Not every single person, but at least the common interpretations of clothing and stuff. But anyway, what's this guy gonna say about it?
I don't understand this way of thinking at all. Like, y'all make arguments as if like majority of men in the world or even in the regions you live in just rape people just because. I actually have a really interesting thought. Think about this. To be somebody who is willing to forcefully have sex with another person, you have to have a real twisted, messed up mindset. If there's a bunch of women out there, just like there's a bunch of men, what if there's a bunch of women out there with the same mindset? But they can't do anything about it because they can't overpower anybody. Like, why do y'all actually try to use the minority of men that are rapists to represent millions of people?
Hey, this guy's making some sense. But also, women do rape men. They overpower them with drugs and alcohol all the time, and also with seduction.
Because the way we touch y'all and the way y'all touch us is not looked at the same. Like this whole trend about grabbing your boyfriend's ass, that's like, why would you do that? That's weird. Like girls used to do that to me all the time. And
Your boyfriend is one thing. I'm guessing like he meant just grabbing random guys' asses, which, yeah, like, and it sucks that you can't like. It's like some girl grabs my dick, and like I can't really do it. I mean, I can do all sorts of things about it, but I keep myself from doing almost anything because, like, it's not gonna turn out well. Like, no matter what I do, like, I can't use any physical force to like stop her or like push her away. I'm essentially reduced to being forced to like run away, and then that comes with its own like social repercussions, you know. But yeah, I mean, I think it certainly helps to like it's not just everywhere in the world. It's not just anywhere and everywhere that these kinds of things happen. There are specifically places where the likelihood of this shit happening is high, and then there are places where the likelihood is extremely low. And I think what each of us can do is just choose which spaces to occupy, as opposed to, you know, demanding that all the spaces change to cater to what I feel like how I feel like I deserve to be treated. It's just like, I'm perfectly fine with there being places that I just think are shit places that I don't want to go to because, for instance, they have a high likelihood of this kind of stuff. I'm okay with that.
school, and that really bothered me because it's like if I did that to you, I'd get suspended. Y'all could just feel all on my chest
Suspended.
and my abs like that's cool. Like don't touch me.
Now we are strangers again. But this time.
You see, when I first watched this, I genuinely felt bad for her. But then when I watched it over again, you said you lost this guy, right? Your boyfriend, your baby with a heart. Oh my God, literally in my bag. But, I mean, I guess he wasn't so special to you because you got Brian, Steven, Jeffrey. You have every man's in your high school or wherever you're from snapping you. So I guess he wasn't that special, I guess.
All right, guys.
What the fuck does that have to do with it? I mean, yeah, that kind of presumption there is like, I mean, I don't like the way it discriminates against the guys. You know, it's like it's this kind of prejudiced outlook that like the only thing guys would be doing in your messages is like hitting on you or trying to get in your pants, or they're already fucking you or something like that. It's like, I don't know. I don't see any reason why some random fucking girl that's like upset about losing her boyfriend can't have a bunch of friends or acquaintances. And I'm not saying that it's not the case that she's got a bunch of dudes that she's sleeping with or cheating on her boyfriend. I don't know. Maybe she is. But I just think to jump to the presumption that the only role that like guys could have in this girl's life is that they're like sexual partners or people that, you know, are working on that. It's like, what, she can't have friends like dudes on her fucking contact list or whatever, like they can't be friends, or she can't have brothers, or I don't know. I just feel like it's the same thing. It's like if I was with someone and they were like looking through my phone, looking through my text messages or some shit, and they saw like, oh, I have a bunch of text messages with different like girls' names, and if they got like jealous and upset over that, it's like, I can't have friends. I can't, you know, like why? again, why make that prejudice against women in that hypothetical case where it's like the only reason these women would be talking to me is because they're fucking me or they're trying to fuck me because this person is insecure. I don't know. I feel like it exposes an insecurity, maybe not an insecurity. It exposes a prejudice that I think is likely to cause an insecurity in that guy.
Why your girl born on the streets? If she's on social media showing off her body and she wants to be your main girl, she can't be your main girl until she gets rid of that stuff, guys. Because here's the thing. If she's out there parading her body around the internet, she wants attention from other men and she's not ready to be your girlfriend, okay?
Yeah, you know what? I think to a pretty far extent, I agree with this. I I would redefine it as not even necessarily, she wants to be with other men, but there are certainly people who get like addicted, completely addicted to the validation they get from social media. And I think it's important to clarify that that validation, it could come from women or men. It could come from men that they don't consider attractive, that they would never fucking in 100 years sleep with or even want to hang out with or really talk to. But as long as those people contribute, as long as those people are the mostly faceless masses that contribute the upvotes or likes or hearts or whatever, then it doesn't matter. And I think if you're with the kind of person who is addicted to approval and validation from social media like that, I don't know. I wouldn't go so far as to say, just don't don't date them or give them this ultimatum. Either they give up social media or you, because by the way, they'll give you up. A person that is truly hooked on that is not gonna they're not gonna just stop. They're not just gonna drop it. But but if you do recognize that the person is like that, then I would just factor that into my decision of, do I want to be with this person, knowing that I'll always be second to whatever they need to do to get approval and validation. And I don't think that you should only pursue, or to put it another way, I don't make the kind of decisions where if if I realize that I can't be number one in someone's life, then I won't be their friend at all or something like that. Like I don't make those kinds of decisions. I think it's, I don't know, just kind of, that's a pretty limited outlook to think um, that those kinds of number one spots are even persistent over time, that they don't shift from day to day or minute to minute, and then also that, I don't know, that it's very, yeah, just, I don't think it's common to consistently be someone's like number one person. I think that shifts all the time. If you're the kind of person who like gets jealous when your girlfriend or one of your guy friends or something goes and spends any time with anyone else, kind of reminds me of that. So yeah, I certainly don't avoid relationships if I know. And I don't know. There's guys that I know that I think are really fucking, that are cool guys, and I like hanging out with them. And they're good at stuff. Like I got a chess buddy, I got a philosophy buddy, and like they got their lives. A lot of them have like families and kids. I know I'm not going to be like their best friend. I know that more often than not, if we make plans to hang out, like it just happened, pretty much happened today. I made plans to play some World of Warcraft, classic fucking Burning Crusade, with an old buddy of mine, and yeah, shit just like didn't work out, and in some ways we're limited by his other family responsibilities, or sometimes we'll be playing and then he'll be like, "Oh, sorry, my wife needs me to fucking watch the kid now." It's like, yeah, sure, like I get it. I am not the most important thing I'm not the most important relationship or friendship in his life, but it's like, yeah, not choosing to not participate in any of those kinds of relationships. I don't think that's a great idea. So you got this girl, and she's all into social media and stuff, and you're pretty sure that you're not going to be the main thing in her life if you get into a relationship. Should you stay away from that? I don't necessarily think that's the case. Should you make her an ultimatum? I would say definitely not. I would just say proceed forward with a, an accurate model of, what you're getting yourself involved with. In fact, if you understand, her position clearly, it might even make it easier to like appeal to her, knowing what she responds to, right? Um, but yeah, this kind of I don't think it's just guys, and I think the overall approval and validation addiction, like I do consider it to be a relationship of sorts. Like it's like a relationship with the cloud. But yeah, I wouldn't interpret it the way that this guy does, where it's like, oh, she's essentially dating all these men out there. They might certainly think so.
Move on to the next one, or she's got to delete her social media. Peace.
If you're a bisexual girl with a boyfriend who complains about wanting a girlfriend, you're a terrible person and I hope he cheats on you.
If you're a bisexual girl with a boyfriend who complains about wanting a girlfriend, well, yeah, I guess this is a critique of some aspect of being bi that normalizes complaining about wanting to be with a different partner when you're with a partner. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'd go as far as to say that you're a terrible person, and I don't think I would hope that that person cheats on you, but um, yeah, I feel like this is an interesting reflection of the the fascinating time that we live in which we are constantly finding ourselves in radically shifting parts of the Venn diagram, of the overlapping Venn diagram. To some people, bisexuality still isn't acceptable. To some people, it's acceptable. To some people, it's celebratable. To some people, a bisexual's relationship with a same-sex partner versus the opposite sex partner are like not the same. But I mean, from where I am, I guess along that spectrum or whatever, yeah, if you're genuinely bi, then there's no difference between your male partners and your female partners. And if you have a partner, and I guess that also needs to be added, if you have a partner and you're in a monogamous relationship, but you're going around complaining that you want to date someone else, then yeah, that's just like if you were a girl and your boyfriend was going around complaining that he wants to hook up with another girl or in whatever other combination. I don't think that's. Yeah, I just think that's kind of lame. I mean, if I found out my girlfriend was complaining that she wanted to be with other guys, like we would certainly have a talk about that, and like if she insisted that this is something she wants to continue doing, then I would certainly help her out by like not dating her anymore. Or I mean, I don't know, maybe if she was really special, I would reevaluate the way I was just talking about it. It'd be like, okay, so I'm dating a person who pretty much goes around complaining about this shit, but do I want to keep fucking them, or are there some other perks to the relationship? I mean, not this girl.
I'm gonna tell y'all guys something else. Women hate that when you
Everybody hates it when the tables are turned. It's not just women.
give them a dose of what they do.
Yeah, everybody hates that.
And that's one thing, guys, since I've been on YouTube, the thing that I've been trying to get you guys to do is think like a woman, act like a man. That was the whole point of choosing singles. That's the whole point of all this shit. Abundance mindset. I've been trying to get you guys to have the abundance mindset.
Yeah, whatever. You can't have the fucking. Why would you have an? You know what? I haven't heard this come up in a while, but like, it's like either you have abundance or you don't. Like, when people try and go around imitating people that have abundance by just trying to have an abundance mindset without having abundance, it's like, I mean, if you think that essentially posturing that way, which is like, I don't know, that's how I see it. You're posing. You're a fucking poser, right? If you think that that's gonna increase your chances of getting a girl or something like that, I don't know. Maybe I guess I kind of understand it, but it just makes me think of someone who doesn't have any savings but goes around spending money like they do have savings, or like somebody who doesn't have a very good job but goes around spending money like they have a very good job. It's like, don't operate in a I make 200K a year mindset if you make 50K a year. Like, why would that be a good idea? You shouldn't have the mindset of something you don't have. And if you do have abundance, like, if you do have abundance, then you don't need to adopt any sort of extra mindset. At that point, it's just like, just be yourself, right? Yeah, I find it very weird. Maybe I just don't understand it properly. Maybe someone could explain it to me.
They have an abundance. See how quick she blocked.
You say, hold on, hold on.
Women charge different prices based on your value. Uh-oh, like prostitutes?
No, listen. You say you want to be able to have sex with this guy because you want to, and you're basically saying, I'm going to not make you pay the going rate. That I would make this dude have to pay to take me out on 3, 4, 5, 6 dates. You can get it because I'm just sexually attracted. You, my friend, have to pay.
But you know what? I think that's completely different. Like, I don't see a woman.
Of course you do. You do. But the thing is, man, but listen. Of course you do. You're a woman. And that's the problem.
You're a woman and that's the problem. Oh, God.
It's not what you think, it's what we think. I'm telling you, what you just said was perfect. I just want to have sex with this guy because I'm physically attracted. You got to take me to Del Frisco. That's 2 different prices.
Bitch,
Yeah, like, what? Who fucking cares? Welcome to capitalism. If she has something that 2 different people want, and if those 2 different people are willing to pay different amounts for it, and if she's the one that gets to fucking choose if she wants to sell it or not, that's up to her. Like, it's a fucking seller's market. Or like, he's acting like seller's market. Am I saying that right? Yeah. Like, it's not the buyer's market when it comes to relationships. He can't tell her that she's wrong for, let's say, saying that she wouldn't fuck him unless he took her out on 5, 6 dates and bought dinner. Like, in person to person relationships, you need consent for both sides for it not to be like rape or physical abuse. So it's like, it doesn't matter if one person thinks like, yeah, it's like, I think I'm attractive enough to fuck you, so I don't care what you think. It's like, we're fucking now. It's like, no. And yeah, in a lot of cases, like, women are in a position where they like they have more of the value. In a lot of situations, it's the opposite way around. I don't think it necessarily maps 50-50 across the same aspects of relationships. And I think that also goes as far as like professional relationships, like business, workplace, friendships, shit like that. There's plenty of areas of an individual's social life where at some point or another they notice that like their gender plays some role in how they are treated in general, on average. Obviously not always, right? But yeah, but I would argue that like there's certainly something about like putting aside the you know that a certain type of woman has way more value and way more control over that value when it comes to like dating and sex. Often those are the exact same women who have severely reduced value when it comes to presenting themselves as an authority on any technical subject. There's like this interesting inverse relationship between like beauty, physical attractiveness, and like knowledgeability, where it's like if an ugly woman explains to me how some programming layout works, it's like, okay, but if she's really good looking, then that's often met with this kind of like skepticism of like, why the fuck does she know anything about programming? She's good looking, right? She should just be out there. She shouldn't be out there learning fucking programming. She should just be out there getting whatever she wants, right? It's like that's a part of that presumption too, I think. Let's Make a Wish kids are evolving, bro. Lamu.
She want me to hit like a fucking.
Oh, what is it? Make a Wish teen requests to receive oral sex from porn star Tiana Trump as his final wish. I want some head before I head out. Did she do it? You need to respect me. You literally sell pictures of your butthole on the internet for $5 a month. So no. Yeah, I wonder how like, you know, if this is a specific. It's interesting how difficult it is to be able to tell something that is presumed just so automatically, but like, does the cartoon of her represent a specific individual, or does it represent a class of individuals? And does the cartoon of him represent a specific individual or a class of individuals? Because there's possible combinations between there. And like, yeah, do people just deserve respect? You know? Like, is there some area, is there some space that as far as whatever it is that makes up an individual is concerned, that requires, that demands respect? I would say yes. You know, I think it's pretty obvious that like, I think we would all argue that like everyone needs to respect us insofar as everyone needs to not just fucking walk up to us and try and take our wallets. Like, you know, that's I think that's a pretty reasonable expectation of the kind of respect that everybody owes everyone else. Like, you're expected to respect people's like personal space or like their body. Like, don't touch people. You can't take people's things. You know, like that kind of thing. So I don't think there's like no category in which someone could demand like that you need to respect me on some level. Now, obviously, I feel like this is pointing to someone who is demanding more respect, someone who's demanding like moral respect, where it's like, I do something and you said that thing I did is immoral, but I demand that you respect that thing that I do and judge it as being moral. In which case, yeah, I kind of also respect everyone's ability to like form and hold their own opinions about themselves or anyone else, as long as those opinions don't extend out past whatever, like their thoughts and their words. But even that doesn't line up with what is being policed. There's plenty of shit you can't say, even though it's just fucking words. There's plenty of shit you can't say because it's deemed to be a crime. And I find the explanation for it really interesting because, to my knowledge, all hate crime, all hate speech, things like that, they're all explained. Their policing and upholding is justified by the reasoning that hate speech normalizes violence. So, which by the way, in a way, admits that, let's say, hate speech in itself is not inherently bad. It's just pointing to violence. It's saying, look, violence is really bad. And then the sort of, implied argument is like, yeah, I wasn't violent. I just said something. And then the counter argument is like, yeah. Like, I know you didn't do anything bad, but that thing you did could inspire someone to do something bad. And then, no further evidence is needed. It's actually a really interesting inversion too of the way the judicial system generally works, which is people are presumed innocent and their guilt needs to be proven. But like with this, it's like the consequences, the worst case scenario consequences are presumed to be true. And so it's like you just say something and it's presumed that those words will inspire someone towards committing a violent act. And also presume that it will be provable that this is like linked to you, which is, yeah, generally like in most like modern first world liberal countries, kind of under the impression that generally it's the opposite, right? That people aren't just automatically guilty before they're proven. But yeah, anyway.
We fucking all in the street. She told me to recline, so I had to let back the seat. Pull out and she sucked it, I nut all over her meat.
Okay.
New bitch, yeah, she bad as hell.
Goth girl.
She got long hair. Pretty bitch got a big.
What's up with that guy's hat?
Let me tell you something, my boy. She is not it at all. I think you need to go repick faithfully, cause that avatar ain't it.
You're not serious.
What? Why?
Let me tell you something.
New bitch, yeah, she bad as hell. She got long hair. Pretty bitch got a big.
Let me tell you something.
Okay, whatever. Why? Who cares? He's got there's some girl. Maybe, am I missing something again? This father stop his son marriage. This father spell good.
I know you're not serious. Excuse me, pardon me. Excuse me. Damn. You're not gonna do this, are you?
I'm sorry?
You're not gonna really do this, are you?
Yes, we are. You can go back and sit down. Yes, we are.
No. Come on, man, with this. No. This ain't going nowhere. Why you need to talk? Why you come up here? Why you need to talk? About what? It's nothing to talk about. First of all, she just left you.
Wow, this is fucking intense. Seriously, this guy's dad just fucking is like, no, you're not doing this. I wonder I would love to find out in detail what the backstory of this is, as opposed to just, again, presuming that whatever, that this woman's a bad person or something.
Sorry, I'm talking to my son. Yeah, but no, I don't. Listen, don't out talk.
If you do not want to come, you can leave.
Well, I'm invited.
You shouldn't have
myself.
if you do not want to stay
Well,
married.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to speak my piece whether you like it or not.
Well, you need to leave because we're going to do
I
it.
need to talk to my son. I'm not the married. I'm talking to my son. Please don't interrupt.
No, I'm going to interrupt you. You can leave.
Well, anyway, me and you need to talk.
No, you can leave. Somebody escort him out because he can leave.
Yeah, like that's a fucked up scene, but like, what the fuck happened? Because, just to play pretend fucking devil's advocate, like, what if, like, I don't know, I'm trying to make up some really petty fucking thing on behalf of the dad, like, that dude's mom and dad are divorced, so that's his dad. He hates his ex-wife, and his ex-wife set up her son with that girl, and she really likes the girl. So this dad, just for no reason other than this, his ex-wife likes this girl, he wants to break up the marriage. Like, there are definitely a lot of petty ass fucking people out there that Like, I'm sure that the thing I just randomly made up now, I'm sure it's not like that has never fucking ever happened, you know? I'm sure that's happened at least here or there. So, like, that could be it. But I mean, it could be on the flip side, like, you know, the dad has seen his fiance cheat on him repeatedly. And he's told his son, and his son is just like, "Nah, dad, why are you saying this? I don't believe you. She's a nice girl." And the dad is like, had it, and he wants to protect his son. But either way, it's like we don't know the backstory, so it's kind of annoying to just show that video amongst these clips, which all make certain presumptions about how women are and how men are. It's kind of it's a little flat, bro. You're kind of gross for fucking 12 dudes. Stop slut shaming. You are right. I'm sorry.
You're broke. Look at your job.
Promiscuous, please. You broke. Look at your job. $8 an hour making ass. I thought those people making those synthetic asses made a lot more than that.
Dollars hour making work at McDonald's. Look at your job. You're never going to get a girlfriend with that job. Broke boy. Broke boy. Broke boy.
Ah, come on, man. Fucking, you do a job well, and in one way or another, you grow and succeed. Even if you're fucking stuck with a job for like way longer than it feels like, you know, should have been there. It's like, I really love those videos of those guys who are like ice cream. They're those ice cream vendors. But like you always see those videos where they're like fucking with the people buying the ice cream. Like someone will like give them money and the ice cream guy hands them the cone, and then at the last second he like lifts out. Turns out there was like a cone inside the cone, so the person that bought it is just stuck with the empty cone, and the ice cream guy has the ice cream in the cone, and they're like, "Oh, sorry," and they go to give it back, and they got another trick. It's like those videos are awesome and hilarious, and the ice cream guys. I am immediately filled with an overwhelming sense of awe and respect for the amount of skill and dexterity they have, and it's just like such a cool thing that they do. But then I'm like, oh right, they're ice cream vendors. They're just fucking dudes that sell. You know what I mean? That's not a good job. That's not some sort of prestigious. They could also be working at McDonald's or whatever. But it's like the fact that they took that job that could have just been, oh yeah, I just sell ice cream all day. It's such an embarrassing, boring job. The fact that they took that and like raised it to the point of it like being this work of art, you know? I don't know. I really respect that. It's like even if you can't get a promotion, you can get so fucking good at something that it's like admirable and respectable. Our generation isn't soft. You're just racist and homophobic. Huh?
If you weren't soft, those comments would be on. But no, the actual issue is that people like you push the narrative that every single thing that you disagree with is racist or homophobic or transphobic. And then you really push this fucking narrative that every single fucking thing you fight for is just basic human rights. Not even that, but do you know how much of a fucking bitch you have to be to email someone's fucking school over something that you didn't like? Especially when a fat majority of them are actually just simple jokes that you just don't fucking like. And you really think the whole fucking world revolves around your feelings? And when you don't get your fucking way, that's all you do is spam email fucking corporations. And then what, label yourself as the strongest generation because you cry the most? Coming from a fucking generation that needs trigger warnings for slicing bread on a social media app? Gen Z's a bunch of pussies.
Okay, whatever. I mean, you see shit like that. I don't know. I scroll past shit like that on fucking Reddit every day. I don't make videos about it. I guess I'm making videos about it here. Fuck! When your Tinder date, I guess, shows up 50 pounds more than expected.
Y'all be wanting
That'll be one.
fine ass girlfriends, but be mad when they getting attention.
Wrong. Wrong. It's not the attention that make us mad. It's how they act when they get the attention that be making us mad. That's what we get mad about. If you start acting like a hoe when they giving you attention, of course we gonna be mad. But if you acting like the queen you are when you getting attention, we gonna be like, all right, nigga, I got a queen. Let me act like the king I am. You feel me?
Okay. Interesting. I got some mixed opinions about this. This reminds me of a very interesting discussion that I had about about trophies, about trophy wives and trophy husbands, and about engagement rings as kind of like one of the feminine equivalents of just a trophy girlfriend or a trophy wife in general. It kind of made me think about how like trophies are things that people compete for or hold on to and proudly display because the trophies, increase their perceived value or make them feel better about themselves. I don't know, some other reasons, I'm sure. And in the cases where it's like it's personal, it's inwardly directed. I think I don't know, that makes sense to me. It's understandable. But when it's like if you're getting the sports car, if you're getting the trophy girlfriend, kind of in the way you're getting the sports car, like if it's there to improve your image, then I'm often very curious, like what the improved image is for. Because if it's for attracting, like if you have a really hot girlfriend and she's just a really good looking girlfriend that you don't really have any sort of good chemistry with. I mean, I think that would be kind of one of the definitions of like a trophy girlfriend. It's like someone who's there for the looks, and that's evident because their other characteristics are, let's say, lacking. It's like, it's interesting that that person doesn't figure out that they're the trophy girlfriend, or if they do figure it out, that they don't figure out that that means that they're just there to make you look better so that you could get a better girlfriend, Or like why are you at that point, why are you trying to make yourself appear more valuable? Is it to like, and don't get me wrong, I understand it could be like to win friends, it could be intimidating in business, or it could be, yeah, like the confidence could intimidate potential people that you're negotiating with. They might think, oh fuck, I should back down. This guy looks like he knows what he's fucking doing. This guy, it feels like he's gonna win because look at the kind of girlfriend he's got. I always remember that line from Scarface, where he goes after that woman, his like what is initially his boss's wife, and he's like, with a woman like you, I could do anything, And I always thought it was really interesting that was one of those big kind of initial motivations for him, was like it was like essential to get the girl because it like solidifies something. And his concerns after that were, business, crime, domination. It wasn't to get more women. It almost seemed like he didn't really care. He just wanted to like not be the single guy, doing all this stuff. But yeah, going back to this, like, yeah, it's like if you're with a girl, not to mention, like, here's the thing, you could be with a girl and she could be modest, and she could still be getting a ton of attention, right? That's different than if she's not actively reacting to anyone that gives her attention. So you're walking down the street and people are like, whatever, yo, how's it going? And she's just not responding. In the one scenario, when she's like has has made herself appear as modest as, she can. And that shit's still happening. That's like one scenario. But it's another scenario. She's like made herself look as attractive and scandalous or stimulating or whatever is possible. I don't know. Even if she's not responding, I feel like there's a difference between those two scenarios. And in one of them, that individual is like more involved, more complicit.
Females who do the nastiest thing with a bunch of guys, but when it's your turn, they want you to wife them. Like, what do I look like? Captain Save a Hoe?
Honestly, man, where you gonna go? Ain't nobody.
Captain Save a Hoe. Yeah, it's kind of. It's almost like sleeping with a bunch of people, and I think I can generalize both for like men and women here, but it's almost like sleeping with a bunch of people devalues the sentiment of like wanting to be in a serious relationship with someone. Like imagine you meet a girl, she's attractive, she's whatever, intelligent, sense of humor, everything about her is, let's say, it's just fine. It's like better than fine. And then she's like, I really like you. I like you so much that I would want to be with you for the rest of my life. Right? Cool fucking attractive girl like says that shit. If she said that to me, hypothetically, I think I would find that as being like really flattering. But nonetheless, if that's contextualized with the fact that she just fucked 100 guys over the last year, and now she's saying, I want to be with you for the rest of my life. It's like, that feels different now, right? It seems, something about that seems different. And yeah, it's like, it's almost like that kind of behavior, like, it's almost like it hurts the person who's doing that kind of promiscuous activity. And I think this applies like both to guys and girls, just applies to anyone. It's like the more promiscuous and like easygoing you are with relationships and sex and stuff like that, and if other people are aware of it, the more difficult it is for them to sort of reconcile that with you wanting to like be serious and do something like for real. I don't know. I think that could be a pretty good warning, or at least serious considerations, just like for anybody. I don't think that's just like for girls. 40-year-old size 20. Oh, I see. Will not move in with a man before marriage.
They're looking for a 40-year-old woman that's a size 20.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you, but yeah.
So, and he said, "Hey, girlfriend, I will not marry you unless we move in first. This is a deal breaker. You're willing to leave the relationship for this?"
I think so, yeah.
Okay, then you're going back to the open market.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's okay.
Really? Audience, this is where pride and ego fucks up relationships.
My own blood.
I mean, pride and ego fucks up a relationship. I mean, if she's choosing not to continue being in a relationship because that's her standards, because her standards are get married before moving in, if that's the way she wants to do it, again, it's like, what are you gonna do? Tell her she's wrong? Who cares? Let her do whatever the fuck she wants to do. If her partner, whoever she's with, if that person doesn't want to marry her, and then she's like, okay, well then we're breaking up, and then he's like, okay, then who cares? And it's like, she could, I don't know, I feel like people should have the freedom to like fuck up their own relationships, If she has, Like, I don't feel like it's anybody else's job to police people's relationships to keep them from making bad decisions. Like, fuck, who cares? It's like, I don't know. To is the satisfaction, he's like, this is an ego, fuck something up. It's like, where's the ego? Where is the well managed suppressed ego of someone who's like judging other people's decisions about their personal life and then insulting them and insulting their egos? It's like, is that really? And playing that song, playing the like. It sounds like a fat person with a tuba walking around. It's like, you don't have to do that. Like, you're doing that for yourself. You're doing that, like, I don't know. It seems pretty clear to me, right? That he's like indulging himself in like an embarrassing or trying to make this other person look bad. It's like, or certainly I feel like that could be done without invoking the ego, Just, just be straight up about what you're doing instead of, I don't know, I feel like that was a little hypocritical. Let's wrap it up there. Where's my